Then I'll introduce the Secretary of Education, Gerard Robinson, who will be followed by the Superintendent of Public Instruction, Pat Knight.
Thank you, Governor. In 2010, the Governor released his Opportunity to Learn agenda, a strong focus on making sure that we provided options across the line to children in the public school system. In 2011, to expand that, we're also going to make sure we still focus on public education. We also want to make sure that we look at students from the private school sector as well. The private schools educate a number of children in Virginia, and we want to make sure they continue to play a role in educating the next generation of leaders in the Commonwealth. Regarding the tax credit scholarship, there are currently 9 programs in 7 states that educate 115,642 students. Florida is the one that's probably best known for the level of growth they've had in the past decade and for the number of students they serve. But if you look at Pennsylvania, they actually have 44,000 students, and in Arizona, there are 3 programs there. Many of them are focused on the low-income areas and students that we want to focus on here. We're also looking at incentive pay. The Harvard Program on Education Policy and Governance, along with the National Governance Association, has white papers and working papers showing where it's worked. Surely there's some needs along the way, but with the amount of work that DOE and others between August and December of last year met with education stakeholders here in the Commonwealth to come up with an incentive plan. And so we see these 2 initiatives as moving the governor's ideas forward to make sure that not only do we have an educated citizenry, but they're also prepared for the jobs of the 21st century. So with that, I thank you, Governor, for your vision and look forward to 2011.
Thank you.
Good morning. It's indeed a pleasure to stand with the Governor this morning to highlight accomplishments of K-12 education. But I agree wholeheartedly, if we're #1 in the nation and #1 internationally, we can't be satisfied. But we're working on it. We're working on it. I am deeply appreciative of the Governor introducing in his budget incentive funds for public school teachers. But I'm here today really to recognize a hard-working group that spent many, many hours working with the Department of Education on behalf of the Board of Education to revisit and to review teacher evaluation standards, guidance documents, and to work with us to create uniform performance evaluation standards that will be recommended to the State Board of Education in the next couple of months. Most certainly, the success of any performance pay program depends on the strength of the evaluation system that is used to make decisions about employee performance. With that in mind, I asked the State Board of Education to authorize the review of their uniform performance evaluation standards and authorize me to convene a statewide working group for the purpose of looking at those documents. I had 2 conditions that I placed on that work. Number 1, I wanted to make sure that all the stakeholder groups were at the table. I didn't want to leave anyone out. I wanted to make sure, number 2, that whatever was developed in terms or recommended in terms of a comprehensive evaluation system could be used to make decisions about performance pay should a local school board decide to go in that direction. The last part of that sentence is critical. We did not set out on this with this group to establish additional mandates. I was very clear from the start as the state board that we wanted to have a comprehensive evaluation system for school boards to use should they go in the direction of performance pay. The work of the group was tedious. We convened over 25 individuals in addition to Department of Ed employees, researchers, the Center for Innovative Technology, facilitated the group because, as you can imagine, there were a few disagreements along the way about certain standards and the weight of the standards in the evaluation system. We also had the benefit of Dr. James Strong and Dr. Terry Dozer as consultants to the group. As a result of 3 months of working and electronic communication back and forth, the work group has come up with a set of recommendations that we're reviewing now that will go to the board. Turning to performance pay incentives. The performance pay incentive pilot is not a mandatory program, it is an incentive program. We are targeting hard to staff schools. We are targeting eligible teachers in hard-to staff schools, and the local school boards who choose to submit a competitive proposal will decide who is eligible to participate in this program. A local school board can decide to participate or not to participate. But there are over 190 schools that we've identified through our data system from last year that would be eligible to participate because they meet the criterion for hard to staff. We are going to be working on an RFP that will build in the criteria to include the teacher evaluation work group recommendations. We want proposals from local school boards that fit the context of a local school system. But we also want to make sure that the comprehensive evaluation system that is in play in that school division for that school aligns well with the recommendations of the teacher evaluation work group. It is important to note that student progress will be an important component of the performance pay incentive pilots. The work group is recommending that at least 40% of the overall evaluation be tied back to student progress. That doesn't mean that there will be a single test score or a single test that will determine student progress. There are multiple indicators that are being recommended by this work group that will go into determining student achievement. So with that, I thank the governor for introducing the budget with this incentive pay, and I hope that the General Assembly will look kindly on that request, and I would encourage local school boards to look favorably on this incentive program. Ultimately, the decision is yours as to whether or not to compete. Thank you.